Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey, really digging into a part of American exploration history that, well, it just doesn't get the attention it deserves. We're pulling back the curtain on someone truly incredible, but often overlooked from the Lewis and Clark expedition. York the Explorer. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's a common picture, isn't it? You think Lewis and Clark, you think just those two leaders, but when you actually dig into the records, the journals, it's incredibly clear there was another member who was absolutely essential, a Black explorer whose contributions were frankly foundational. His story really deserves way more credit than it's traditionally gotten.
Absolutely, and that's the key, isn't it? He wasn't just sort of tagging along. He played a really active role. So our mission today for this deep dive is to give York the spotlight he truly earned, to finally honor what he did.
Right. And to really grasp York's journey, we have to start with the historical context. It's crucial. When the expedition set off back in 1804, York was an enslaved man. He was William Clark's property. That fact, it colors everything.
And given that context, it's just, well, it's pretty astonishing how he functioned on the expedition itself. He definitely wasn't treated like, just baggage. The sources show him as a full participant, hunting.
Yeah, hunting was a big one.
Right. And negotiating with native nations, which was incredibly important. And even, saving lives in critical moments.
And what's fascinating here is looking at those interactions with the native tribes. They were often incredibly intrigued by him, by his appearance, his skin color. It was something totally unfamiliar to many of them. And that curiosity, it actually helped build relationships. It opened doors. He was acting as a diplomat, really, in his own right, bridging these huge cultural gaps.
It really is remarkable. You see these vital contributions he's making under brutal conditions, literally keeping people alive. And then you look at how history, for so long, just kind of skipped over him, like he wasn't even there. The contrast is stark. So let's really get into that. When we talk about honoring what he accomplished, what were some of his most significant contributions? The ones that really stand out?
Well, his hunting skills, like you mentioned, were absolutely top tier. I mean, seriously skilled. Think about it when food was running low, which happened often, and the expedition was facing starvation out there in the wilderness. It was York, very often, who brought back game. That wasn't just dinner, that was survival, directly contributing to keeping everyone going.
And that role in negotiations, I think we can't overstate that. Can we? It's really striking, that specific dynamic. Here's this man, enslaved, yet he's generating this intense curiosity among native groups. It created this unique kind of diplomatic opening that Lewis and Clark probably couldn't have achieved alone. You read accounts where some tribes welcomed the expedition because of York. That curiosity turned into trust sometimes. It's a kind of power, really.
It really is. And beyond the hunting and the diplomacy, let's not forget the sheer physical effort. He was carrying supplies, scouting ahead into unknown territory, enduring every single hardship alongside everyone else, the extreme weather, the exhausting travel. This man helped map America. He was pushing boundaries. If we connect this to the bigger picture, well, it becomes really clear the expedition's success might have hinged on him. He wasn't just an extra pair of hands. He was essential, truly.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me, looking through the sources. The fact that he did all of this incredible, life-saving, nation-shaping work while enslaved. He had no personal freedom. Can you imagine navigating that wilderness, contributing so much, but knowing your own liberty isn't yours? It just makes his story even more, well, remarkable, but also deeply heartbreaking when you think about what came next, or what didn't.
That raises an important question, doesn't it? What did happen to York after the expedition? And sadly, it wasn't the happy ending you'd hope for, not the reward his contributions seemed to warrant.
Yeah, the historical accounts are murky, which says something in itself, right, about how his story was treated. We know he asked Clark for his freedom pretty much right after they got back.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately. But Clark refused for years, apparently, just kept saying no. Eventually, he was either freed or possibly sold. The records conflict on that point. His final years are basically a mystery. No statues, no big public fame, no pension like some others got right away. It's frustrating.
And that's exactly why telling his story now is so critical. It's not just about York. It's about why he was omitted. It points to a bigger pattern, how history gets written, who gets remembered, especially when it comes to Black contributions. York was America's first Black explorer on such a major expedition. He broke barriers under conditions we can barely imagine. His journey is a vital piece of the American story that was just hidden for too long.
Thankfully, things are starting to change, albeit slowly. His legacy is getting more attention now. The bicentennial of the expedition helped spur some new research. And you see things like that statue of him in Portland, Oregon, which is powerful.
It is.
There are new books, more mentions at historical sites. But let's be real, there's still so much work to do. He needs to be fully woven into the main story, not just a side note.
Agreed. It's not about replacing Lewis or Clark, but about completing the picture, making it accurate.
So if you're listening today, we really hope you'll take this story with you. Remember York the Explorer. Remember him as this incredibly brave, skilled, pioneering American
Right.
who's absolutely fundamental to one of this country's most famous journeys.
Yes, and maybe share his story. Talk about him. When you hear about Lewis and Clark, ask, what about York? Challenge those old, incomplete narratives. Let's work together to make sure York finally gets his rightful place. He wasn't a footnote. He was central.
And that really ties back to what we try to do here on the Deep Dive, right?
Yeah.
Keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep honoring the people like York, who history tried for way too long to forget. Something to think about.